Hi, my name is Vatsala and I am a tarot card reader and a numerologist. Spirituality was part of my life ever since I was a little girl. I loved sitting with my grandmother, doing kirtan. I loved the sound of dholkis and really connecting with divine in so many ways. I learned about prayers, I learned about concepts of karma, dharma, again at a very, very young age. And when I was in 10th standard, I also learned Reiki. So I understood what energy is. I understood that we were not just physical beings, we were energetic beings. And that's how I grew up understanding the whole spiritual realm. And that was very magical through eyes of a child who doesn't even know what pain or other aspects of life could be. So it was a very magical time for me. But as I grew up, I wanted to build a career for myself. I had a lot of dreams for myself. I wanted to be independent from a very young age. And as I got into college and started working, spirituality took a backstage. Built a very beautiful career for myself in early 20s where people are just figuring out themselves. I was very fortunate to work with some amazing organizations, and I was traveling all over the world because of my work. I was learning so much, and it was a really high point in my life. I was very happy doing all of that. And when I was 26 years old, I decided to get married to somebody I'd known for a very long time. And I moved to US, and I could not work on my visa, and that was the biggest hit because for me, my work had been my identity for such a long time, and to just not do anything professionally was hit harder than I thought it would. And other than that, I was in a place that was very secluded, very lonely. I had no friends, no family. And I wasn't very happy emotionally where I was in my marriage as well. So that was a very lonely period of my life where I didn't know where life was going. We had nobody that I could share my thoughts with. And but I was trying to work things out. I thought probably I should start studying again, and I applied to universities in New York. But then life had some other plans, and I got pregnant with my daughter. And even though I was very happy to have her because I always wanted to be a mother, but I felt that I wasn't emotionally ready at that point of time to be a mother. And that's when the initiation started. I remember I was just randomly scrolling through YouTube, and I found this video which talked about Buddhism and concepts of Buddhism, especially when you are in a difficult phase in your life and you feel pathless. And I really resonated with it. And I just spoke to my mom, and she said that, okay, I know somebody who's our neighbor, and she chants something. She chants Namyo Renge Kyo. Do you want to do it? And I was like, okay, I had not heard of that chant before. I had not read about Buddhism so much before, of course, that I just started chanting 5 minutes every day without even knowing what it means. And it worked like magic because in 1 week I was more positive in my mind frame. I could see changes in my environment. My mood was better. My pregnancy was better. Within a few months, my parents, like, they were coming to US for the first time, and they just got their visa very smoothly in 5 minutes, and they were there. However, there were other challenges. When my parents were in US, there were series of events which led to me coming back to India, because even they realized it wasn't safe or good for me if I stayed in US. It wasn't a happy marriage. So I decided to come to India with a 2 months old daughter. And when I came back to India, I connected with the community who had connected me to chanting Namyo Renge Kyo. The first thing I was asked to do was chant from the happiness and Buddha nature and well-being for my ex-husband. And that was really difficult at that point of time because I had so many grudges. I had so much pain and so much anger inside me at that point of time. But they said that that's what you need to do because there is some karma attached to this person. You need to see things from also their perspective. And if you would keep this anger and hate alive for them, you'll never be able to heal, and you will probably carry this karma to next lifetime. So at first I started doing this very mechanically. Slowly and steadily I realized that it started changing something inside of me. Like my anger was turning into empathy. It took us 4 years to actually get a formal divorce, but a lot of transformation happened in that point of time, where we were in good talking terms. We understood that we're going our different paths due to certain reasons, but we can be cordial for our daughter and have a mutual agreement that we both can take care of her mutually. We went to the court together. So that inner transformation made this process so smooth for me. That could only happen through the power of faith. Going through this divorce was not the only challenge I was going through at that point of time. I was a new mom of a 2-month-old daughter. I was recovering physically, mentally, emotionally from delivering. And I had to be there for her emotionally and also provide for her financially, because I wasn't working when I was in US. So there was a financial gap. And I literally came to India with zero money. Of course, I had support from the family, but you would always want to take care of your own yourself and your own children. So I had to start from zero, start again, started calling people to get jobs. But I was chanting, and I was asked to be hopeful, asked to write goals, where I want to be financially, what is it that I want for me, and focus there and chant and know that there is everything for everyone in the universe. And I just did that. And I was asked to chant for n number of hours in a day, and also read more about spirituality and help people, other people who were going through similar stages, and just keep doing that. And I just did that. I chanted, I updated my resumes, I was going for interviews, not giving up. And I ended up getting a job within 2 months. And I got a job in a Swedish company, in a very good Swedish company. It's one of the biggest retailers in Sweden. And it was, the starting salary was the same salary at which I left. And it was a job which had weekends off, so that I could spend time with my daughter. I would leave home at 5 o'clock in that job. So it was like a Kosenrufu job, as we said. It really just focusing. And that's why I honestly believe in the power of manifestation and positive thoughts. So I worked there for 2-3 years. But then again, of course, as my daughter was growing up, she had special needs. She was diagnosed with ADHD because, of course, she was also carrying a lot of trauma of child, since the separation and whatever I was going through while I was pregnant. And she needed to get intervention, and that was very expensive. So I had to look for a job which would with a better position, and which would pay me at least 40 to 50% extra than what I was aiming at. So I was advised to write down again the amount that I want for as my income, and just chant for it. And I was advised to chant for the Buddha nature of my own daughter, and chant for her to connect to Buddhism, and also visualize that when she grows up, and remember, this is the time when she's not talking at all. So when she grows up, she actually talks in Buddhism meetings, and she gives her experiences. She shares her experiences. I was just asked to visualize that all throughout, and I just did that. And within, I think, few months, I got a job in another Italian organization at a senior position with the same amount that I had written in my praise, the same exact amount. When I got my offer letter, I showed, because I write down all my prayers, and I showed it to my mother. It was the same exact amount that I'd gotten. So that's how, through faith, I just kept challenging. I kept chanting. I also increased my practice, did other meditations, yoga, all throughout building up my career. And that was the time where I was very drawn to tarot readings. I was somebody who did not believe so much in astrology or tarot. It was almost to a point of obsession. I was obsessed with it at that point of time. I started a process of process of communicating with my spirit guides before that. And I did a tarot course, and this was all while working. Like, I was doing this while I was working. And for 2 years, I did tarot for myself and for my family. I literally got a guidance that was telling me that you need to stop the grind. You need to look within and you need to start healing. I understood it from a spiritual level, but on a very basic level, it was a very difficult decision to take because, again, you have responsibilities. You can't just leave everything and start your hermit journey. But that's what the cards started telling me. And for 1 year, I still dragged my work after getting this message. And then I decided that I need to take a call and do tarot full time. The 15 years of my life where spiritually I have grown and also evolved. I'm such a different person right now from somebody who would really crumble with small issues in her life. I see challenges as opportunities for growth now. When I see a challenge, I know it's a karma that I need to overcome and overpower, and I feel that I can turn any karma into something positive. I honestly feel I'm one with God. I feel that I'm connected with God 24/7. I see myself as part of God, and I don't see it as something outside of myself. I don't have any reliance on God. I just know that God is there, and I just know that God wants us to grow spiritually, and God wants the best for me, and it wants my soul to ascend and grow to a beautiful place. And that's why God is just there to facilitate that process. That's how I see it. There's one thing that I feel that people should know now is that there is a lot of happiness to be found in doing things mindfully rather than just being in rush and just trying to achieve one thing from the other. If we just slow down a little bit in our lives, if we just can understand our emotions and emotions of other people around us more, and just be mindful of where we are, even at workplace or our homes, that's the biggest spiritual practice that we can have right now. We don't need to go on a mountain to be spiritual. We just need to understand ourselves and our surroundings better, to have a life that we want, to be in a much calmer space, to love and grow with each other. And that's, I feel, is really lacking in the society today. If you are a person who is at a really, really low life condition, like we say, you're really at rock bottom, and you could believe in God but blaming God for everything, there is a need to shift your perspective and take responsibilities for your karma and whatever is happening, because God would never want you to suffer. And suffering, if you are in that state, the only one who can pull you up is your own self. So start believing in yourself a little more and start thanking God for everything God has given you. Gratitude works like magic. Once you start thanking God for you to breathe, to be here alive, to small things, the fact that you can walk, the fact that you can see, or you can talk, or you can write. If you just have gratitude for the smallest things that you have, just see how magically your life can evolve and how magically things will start working out for you.